Another chance to play a very familiar foe. Seattle, of course, has been top of the league with you guys since 2018, and the respect is there, I think, on both sides, clearly. For them, they were talking in their pre-match availability sort of about execution and the keys of execution, really fine margins, even though you guys have had their number. Why have you executed better than they have? That's at least why have you executed well against them? I'm wondering if you could sort of speak to that.
Mastermind behind it.
Yeah, I think that's correct. I think they're always tight games. They have a very good team. They have played in big games in the past. They've won some championships, and so it's a high quality opponent. It's an intense match. There's little room for error, and the mistakes that are made or the opportunities that are given, you need to capitalize on. And in the past few matches, our difference makers have made big plays, and everybody on the field has brought the intensity and the tactical discipline needed to beat a team like Seattle, especially in Seattle. And so, why that happens, I think it's just maybe individual quality is one reason. The other reason is, when they are a possession-based team, and we feel very comfortable without the ball controlling matches, and I think. The more they move forward, the more room there is for us to counter into. That is a matchup we like, but certainly not something we want to try to sustain over 90 minutes.
You played 3 at the back against them last time and gives you room with the wing backs. Why is that a formation that you guys think works for you? And if you could also speak to that.
Yeah, we went back and forth when we played them in the playoffs, and one up there we were 4 back. We then won up there 3-0 with the 5 back. I think we have different ways to play and different ways to beat them. It gives us a little bit more comfortability without the ball, having the 5 back. But with the 4 back, it just allows our attackers and especially our center mid to control the game a little bit more. So it really depends on the tactics, the personnel, who's healthy, who's ready to play, those sorts of things. But to be able to throw both of those scenarios at them, both those lineups, it keeps them guessing, and it allows us to be super flexible, especially going on the road. So I think it's a huge advantage of ours that we have the ability to play both those systems really well.
Yeah, I'll just expand. I think Ryan's right. I think it's also the changes come about when we prioritize different portions of the field, and that's all it is. If you look at our results and if you look at the type of goals we score, they still look and feel the same, which is great news for us. And we try to train the group with principles and behaviors, and not formation and strict patterns going forward. It's up to the players. That's why they're here, and others are not. And we rely on their creativity and their qualities. But we sometimes prioritize different spaces and areas of the field, which is why we'll line up a little differently. But the way we play should always be the same.
Defending Jordan Morris, what's that like? He had a great goal against Pumas. 2 actually. 2? 1? I don't know. He scored a great goal against Pumas. Is he a focal point for you? And then Raul Ruiz Diaz has been less, I think, important for them this year, but he's healthy. It sounds like he can play. So their attacking options, what do you make of them, especially Jordan?
Go ahead.
Jordan's a phenomenal player. Been in the league a long time. Been with Seattle, winning trophies for them for a long time. Tons of speed, tons of pace. A player we know well. We know what he likes to do, so that helps us a little bit. We've been able to have success kind of shutting him down. But a guy that for sure after the last couple of results they've had against us at home is going to be, the team is going to be looking to him to change that streak and for him to kind of put the team on his shoulders and do something special like he did against Puma. So phenomenal player. We'll be ready to try to shut him down again. And a lot of our key for success there in Seattle is to be able to shut down their attack, shut down guys like Morris, Ruiz Diaz. They're guys that they have going forward. So.
Yeah, Ruiz Diaz usually coming into games is more or less a sniper. He can hurt you with from distance with little space. He's hard to really grasp and get a hold of. And Jordan is obviously their biggest threat, starting the match as a physical presence. With Rothrock and Chu, one of the only other players who gives them some depth and attacking spaces in behind. So he's incredibly important for them. And yeah, he is a difference maker for them. And he had come up big in the last game. In the previous matches against us, we've been able to deny him of scoring, but a player of his quality will always have a few chances. And he has in the last game, and he just, fortunately for us, didn't put those away. And we need to continue down that path tomorrow.
Back to my sort of first point, the 4 or 5 in the back. Does that influence how you defend Jordan or any other particular attacker? Or how does that change how you maybe approach someone like that?
I think it's less to do with the opponent, it's more with us. Trying to prioritize different spaces doesn't mean just defensively, it means offensively as well. And so, all phases are connected, and so one definitely has to do with the other and is kind of dependent on the other. So, and none of the phases are independent. And I think it's more of a choice for us to prioritize certain areas with the ball than really defensively.
Good. Alberto, go ahead and take it on Zoom.
Excellent. Thank you. We have a couple of questions here in Zoom. We'll start with Jonathan. Jonathan, please take it away.
Thanks, guys. Ryan, just one from me would be, we had Jordan earlier speaking about the rivalry between LAFC and Seattle. He used that word himself. What's your perspective on just zooming out a little bit? These clubs, they're back and forth, and you guys have been neck and neck for so long and now meeting in yet another big game.
Yeah, it's funny how we keep seeing each other in these big matches. I think it speaks to what both clubs have done. Seattle has been, at the top of the Western Conference, winning trophies, winning cups for the last, 5-7 years. And LAFC's been the same. So I think the rivalry has been bred more out of just both teams fighting for the top spot over the last, handful of years. And because of that, we find ourselves at the end of a lot of these tournaments, the end of the Open Cups, the end of the Leagues Cups, especially these sorts of tournaments that are more geographically located. We find ourselves playing each other often. So yeah, it's created a rivalry. There's connections too. A lot of our guys here have played with guys with the Sounders. A lot of coaches have coached in different back and forth, Sounders, LAFC. So there's a lot of overlap there. I think there's a ton of mutual respect between the teams, and I think that's why these games have been so fun to watch and for us so fun to be a part of.
Not much for me to say on that. That was a great answer.